Welcome back. Today should be quite a good day. I say day, it is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm a bit behind schedule. The epoxy I put on the inside of the wings has pretty much gone off, certainly good enough for what I need. I now need to do a whole load of holes ready for plug welding, and rather than drilling them out, a lot of them I'm going to do with this, which is an air punch and edge joggler. So this bit just pops little holes through and that bit sets edges. So I'll just, where the jaws will engage, pop, pop, pop all the way around the wheel arch lip. The lower seam of this I think I can just get. The one bit I won't be able to do is this top return, because the tool won't go over that lip. So I have to do that with just a normal drill. So that's going to be quite a long, boring process, not particularly interesting to watch. So I'm going to go and do that. And then we'll come back and start doing rough mock-up and alignment checks and things. Just a tiny tip. I've already been through where I'm going to weld with like a 2 or 3 mil drill bit, and I'm now drilling through with a 6 mil. If I drill from this side, then once it's broken through, you end up with like little sharp bits that you then have to sand down before you put the wing on. So what I'm doing is actually, when I go to do the bigger drill bit, go from the inside out, the sharp bit's on the top, which keeps the cathodic treatment protected on this side, but it also means I don't have to dress it, because I could just weld into that and then grind it down in the same stage. So basically it saves a whole stage of prep work if you just drill from the inside out. The other thing I'm doing is I'm deliberately not drilling out all of them. So that one, I'm going to end up with 3. One at this end, one about in the middle, and one at that end are going to stay their original 1 or 2 mil. And that's because I'll use self tappers to put this on the car and help me align it. Because if I use clamps, I won't be able to shut the bonnet. So if I use self tappers, self-tapping screws, then I can do it that way. We have done the drilling there. Annoyingly, I forgot I was meant to leave a small one there, and I drilled it out big, but meh, just have to worry about that later. This is the tool. It literally sits on the edge, pull the trigger, nice little hole. So some of these holes were already there. That one, and that one are actually for the factory mud flaps, and it's really easy to weld those up because you forget that they're for the mud flaps. So I might mark them so I don't forget, because I've done that so many times before. But yeah, I'm just going to go around and pop holes ready for plug welding. Next bit, so we've got both wings, both inner wings, everything prepped up. The only last bit I want to do is just sand this old sealer off there, so my wing not only will sit flat, but I can move it backwards and forwards a little bit easier. And it's a bit like starting the engine for the first time. I've got this apprehension that this could either go really easily or it could be a pain in the butt, and you just kind of don't know until you start fitting them and trying to get stuff gapped up. But this is where you spend a lot of time clamping, screwing, adjusting, opening and closing the bonnet, doing the same on the other side, just making sure before you start welding it's all aligned properly. For the first go, that is quite nice. These wings, when they get stored, can change shape. So this is a curve, well, that's a curve, and then you've got a big curvy bit down here. So they can kind of open up and go a bit odd. So this door is going to be changed. If I had the right door here, I'd probably go and get it now, and then I could play bending this in and out until I was happy. I won't, because I haven't got the door. But I've just got a clamp there, one there. The middle is free to move in and out slightly. I don't know whether you can see that, but it is. So I'm going to do This, what am I going to do? Might see if I can put a self tapper through there, just to hold this for the moment temporarily. Do the same on the other side, and then we'll see what it looks like when you put the bonnet down. Because what I'll do is I'll focus on the gap to the bonnet and the fore and aft along the profile of that door. I'll worry about the in and the out and the wheel arch lip afterwards. Not particularly impressed with this GoPro's batteries. There's 2 batteries now. Both have said 100%, and then within 5 minutes of being out here, they've just gone off. So back to the iPhone. This wing is looking pretty good. The other wing, however, oh yeah, and that's the bonnet gap I've got so far. Ignore that because this bonnet isn't perfectly aligned. I did it in a kind of hurried way. This one is very, very gappy, and I think the top of the inner wing wants a bit of adjustment. I'm not going to film all this because it's basically going to be me going backwards and forwards, checking stuff, adjusting stuff, clamping stuff, drilling stuff, and it's boring to watch, and you probably will get the idea. I think the top of this might have rolled in slightly, so I might have to take this off and open that up. Bottom of that wing needs to go out. This inner wing needs to go over and tap the whole inner wing over that way. Wheel arch lip is nice. It's nice down the bottom on this side, which is good. So, you know, tiny bit of pressure with my foot, and that lines up nicely. So yeah, you get the idea. It's going to be boring. I've had to put the car back on the ground so I could roll it backwards and put some of these screws in behind the rear of the wing to the inner wing, like that one. They are a pain to get to, but I need them in to pull the wing in to then bend the wing out. So more fun and games fitting SD1 wings. Well, that wing was actually looking quite good, but I've had to take it back off to reshape that bottom bit and to file out that hole a little bit, or bend that whole return forward so I can move the wing further backward. Pain in the bum. This bit is very nice down to here. That bit I know I've got to reshape. The only slight problem is it's a bit high here and a bit low there, so much so when you open the door it does actually tuck. Now I'm not going to worry about that at the moment because I can shape that on the car with a piece of wood, and remember that's not the right door. The gap to the middle doors is a bit baggy, as they sometimes are. To the rear, you know, this is all original. I can't remember whether that door, oh come on you bastard, whether that one has shims in it or not. Come on, you know you want to. Oh right, no, that's not going to open. Yeah, so maybe that door can go forward a bit. No, it can't, there are no shims in there. So it might be when I do fit the proper door, I have to hammer the front of the door in so I can shift the door forward. So that bit there I'm happy with. It's just the gap running fore and aft. So I'm going to start putting self tappers in now and see if I can get it to line up. We are getting somewhere. Happy with that. The height is good as well, which I'm pleased about. The other side, there you go, front view. The other side, there's a lot more freedom of movement in and out. The back is pretty good. You know, if that's pushed down, that curve meets that one, and there's not a huge gap there. This can come in a bit as well. It's just I can't at the moment get to the bolts in there. But yeah, looking forward it kind of flares out, so I need to pull the top across, put some more self-tapping screws in there to hold it. Sod's law, moved it over too much, so that's too tight, so I'm going to take it off again and move it. Okay, pretty happy with this now. That side hasn't changed. Nice even gap all the way along. This side I've moved the front out a bit and the top in. There are some bits where you just know that it's going to require a little bit more massaging, because can you see it's a little bit tighter there than in the middle. So I've got a clamp in there at the minute. Oh no, it's popped off, maybe that's why. Right, okay, yeah, one more. I'll push that in and across if I can, put a self-tapper through. These are when I, it literally is just self-tapping screws in a few places to hold it. I haven't done the bolts up in there, but it's sitting quite nicely, and the gap along there is really good. The height of the wing is also really good. It's just the bottom bits I can't get to very easily at the moment, but that should all come good. So I can actually start welding. Cool. Just starting to weld it on. It's got 3 plug welds down there. Done my first one there. Just going to work my way along, trying not to lose the alignment. It's now 20 to 4 and I started this at about 2 o'clock, so it's an hour and 40 minutes to align the 2 wings and start getting them on. So it is a faff, but yeah. So I've now done all the ones along the top. Some of them have worked out really nicely, minimal cleanup required. Down at the front, I've done 2 in there from the inside that way, so it's nice and tidy. And then down here I've got to do those ones along here. What I'm doing is I'm using a small 6mm spot weld drill bit to just go through, so that I've got clean metal to go onto. So if I just angle it a bit like that, got bright steel that I can weld onto. I'll do this one-handed. This may not go particularly well. There we go. So there you can see the weld. So just do that a lot. Right. Most of this wing is on, but I've had to stop. And I'm having a cup of tea while I think about this. Cup of tea. And then over here we have, it's not really a big issue, it's just a detail point. So that, if you push it, lines up really nicely. But this, sorry, dropped you. This bit is almost too long. What I'm going to have to do is fold this down and out, hammer that return out of it, and then refold it slightly higher. Then when that goes onto there, it will all line up. I mean, it will go like that, but it just looks baggy and shitty. And yeah, you can beat that bit in so it's somewhere close, but it's yeah, so that's what I want to achieve. The only way I can achieve it is by reforming that lower lip. So I'm gonna have a cup of tea, think about it, and then maybe do it. I'll probably finish all of the other welding so that when I'm bending that, I am just bending that bit and not forcing the wing out up there or something. You can kind of see it better from this angle. So lovely, lovely, lovely. Oh dear, doesn't fit. So just going to move that 90 degree to somewhere like that, and we should be golden. It ain't perfect now, but it's a whole lot better. So obviously we now have a lot more material hanging off, which I'll have to do something about, but that's the process. So we've got a good line there, good line down here, along and under there. I'll have to re-drill my plug weld holes, but that's looking good. And there we go. Just put a plug weld in there. But yeah, that all lines up really nicely. So I'm pleased with that. I will now have to move all of the rest of it up. Same deal, but yeah. Problem averted. You cannot beat having a cup of tea when stuff like that happens and you just reset and have another go. Well, I had hopes to get a bit more done. I wanted both wings on and everything sanded down nicely. I haven't even got to the sanding stage yet. I think I cleaned off a couple down here. That wing is on. This wing is mostly on. I've done all along the top and I've started doing down the front and along the underside of there. But even though it's not dark, there's enough drop in the light for me not to really be able to see what I'm doing properly, which included managing to weld one of my clamps to the car. So I'm going to take this opportunity to pack up, tidy up, because that does look good actually. I'm going to tidy up because I haven't really done any tidying this week. It's all just been laid out, but I am happy with progress. We have nicely gapped bonnet. It's not super critical on this car because it's dark blue. The police car I did that was white, that had to be perfect, and it is. This is pretty damn good actually. Happy with that. Whew. Goody. Right, so it's all downhill now in terms of the front. I have sort of attacked and remedied that bit down there. I've just got a couple of tacks on, one at the front and one at the back. The rest I'll massage up, as I was trying to explain. Can't remember whether I did or not. Really, the next big bit after the wings, I probably won't even show much more of the wings because they're done and it's boring watching me do that. If I could open this door, I would show you, but it's basically this area, rear end of that sill. I'll probably have to chop it off back here somewhere, put that in. I need to take all the paint off there and make sure that's solid metal, and then rebuild the inner part of the B pillar where it comes down. Got a section to go in there. I think that B pillar's good, and then after that there's a couple of floor bits to do. Hopefully I won't make any nasty surprises. It's all solid. That bit will come out. That's just one of those random paint pot lid things. And then rebuild the floor onto that chassis rail there. That side, all of the proper construction welding is done. I just need to, I never quite finished it. Just need to, plug weld that bit down, run a stitch around it. I need to cut out where the paint pot lid thing is going to go. Same back here, needs another big hole there, and then glue the paint pot lid thing in. After that, it is, oh yeah, door braces, got to chop those out. It doesn't sound like a lot, but they're all stupid jobs that take a lot of time. I want to take the sunroof out as well. So yeah, bear with. Next few videos aren't going to be that interesting, I don't think. But, you get the idea. Right, I'm going to tidy up and then get ready for work on Monday. Have a good Sunday evening. Bye.